Welcome once again, Cooper's Automotive. Today we have a 2005 Toyota Camry, an oldie. We got to replace the struts on it all the way around, and let's begin replacing these struts. All right, so we got to take off the sway bar link right here. I'm putting a 17 on it, and you got a 6mm inside there. Let's see if I can wedge this ratchet in somewhere, like against there. Oh yes, well, I was afraid of that. So now we have a rounded out Allen in there. So I'm going to take the tube right here with a cutter and cut that out of there. Actually, wonder if I'm going to take my cutter and cut it here. No, I don't have to. I'm going to cut the rod in two. We'll be replacing these sway bar links on this car, no doubt about it. So let me grab my cutter. I did it. Okay, now we got to get the ABS out. We got a 13 right there on that. No, we don't. We got a 12 on that. That wasn't that rusty. We got to get these out of here, and if I remember correctly on that, I believe they're 24s. And let's see if I'm correct. Okay, it's a day for dropsies. I got to be careful on this paint and not let anything slide on there so we don't scratch it. They're 22s on these. So, okay. All right. Let's see if this DeWalt will take those out now. Backside spinning. .22 on the backside. Oh, thank goodness. Man, this is tough, all this safe surface rust on this car. It's just horrible. We never see this in Florida. The home of the cotton tops. The land of the free. All right, so we got that out. This is out. I got to be careful. I don't want to take the center CV axle nut off of this thing, if at all possible. But I don't want to I don't want to pull my CV axle apart either. So I try to keep things close in proximity to what I'm working on. And a screwdriver in between it. I'm leaning it out, and we've got that taken out of there. We're going to lower the car down just a little bit and take three, probably, I'm going to guess 14 millimeters bolts off of the top is probably what they are. So the top strut mount plate right here looks like 14s to me. Just going to place them up here on the windshield corralling there, holding my strut with one arm, reaching down underneath, watching my watching my flashlight fall. But there's your rusty strut. Let's grab our AutoZone Duralast strut. Let's throw a part number at you. An LS 3484771. Removing the sticker. Removing the nuts. Look at that flashlight just swinging over there. That's funny. There. Battery's about dead on that too. All right, let's see how strong I am today. We've got to get that underneath. Trying to act like she came out of there a lot easier than she wants to go in. Let's get that out of there. Okay. Holding it up with one arm. Get a nut started. I did drop one. I gotta find it. Oh, where did it go? Oh, it's close. We'll find it. Get it on there. You got the gist of this thing anyway. They changed to a 15 mil. This thing is not that strong, guys, so don't get excited. I'm just curious if that one would fit. It would if we have to. We can use one of the old ones. I'm going to save these two, and we're going to see about if we don't find the original one. So we're going to go back up on it and finish the bottom. All right, we're back up. Now I'm going to push in on the strut, so I'm not going to be pulling out on the spindle. We want no chance, no chance of that CV axle coming apart. Got a screwdriver in it to kind of hold it in place. And if everything goes well, it will work like that. Let's go ahead and got the dropsies. I saw where that one went. Kept my eyes on that. It's really weird. Looks like the brake hose is twisted. Okay, look underneath there. You see that big nut slid underneath that toolbox. Big nut screwed in, slid underneath that toolbox. See it? All right, we got those in there. Going back to my 22. We'll check those with a big ratchet. A lot of times these are staked in there. This one, the bolts are not staked in there, so. Now, if you torque these, that's up to you. I'm not gonna. It's tight. We put our ABS sensor back here. We got to put that on right there. And this is what was bugging me. This thing was acting like it was twisted up. So I think somebody did brakes on this at one time, and they twisted the brake caliper. I'm going to have to pull the caliper off and untwist the line. Let's go ahead and do that, see if I have any success of getting this caliper off of here. I believe that's probably, in the norm of these is a 14. Let's see this thing. You know, usually you don't want to, I know you just got the back of my shirt at the moment. I was saying usually you don't want to take anything off you don't have to on something that is rusty. But I can't leave it like that. I need just a little bit of wiggle space. I'm going to push the caliper back in just a tiny bit. Unwrap it. It gives me a chance to really look at my brakes really good, my rusty brakes. Put it back. And now we're not twisted up, so now it's correct. So the last place that did brakes many, many years ago, or whatever it was, twisted that line. We used to change just struts without springs and put them all together and take them apart, put them in a spring compressor, and do it that way. And we no longer do it like that. All right, so you got to get your ABS sensor underneath there. Get your, I think it goes just like that. Alrighty, should have my 12 here still. So that's as far as we go right now. I'm going to have to order these on this side. We're going to pause the video and go to the other side. All right, side number 2 of the strut job. In between all the craziness of today, I went ahead and got that sway bar link out of there. I just took the die grinder 90-degree angle cutter and I just split that sucker right down the splinter, split the bolt, took it out. Could burn it off with your torch if you want, but that was the best way for me. So let's get those 22s out of there. Strut, let's go ahead and get this other side done. So it's been a long, long day, and It's now after hours, so I don't have phones ringing. I don't have people trying to stop me in between all my stuff. But you know what? The doors are still open, so we'll see what happens with that. So my big 1/2 inch here, and let's get this thing loose. Come on. Eventually I'll get it switched here. Oh, come on. All right. That one. Let's get this one out of here. Let's go ahead and get my DeWalt and take those out. Had a Ford Ranger I had to do a water pump on. I was going to shoot that video, but things went awry. Wrong gaskets, wrong pump, wrong this, wrong that, wrong the other. One of the days, everything was wrong. Couldn't get a right part to save my life today. All right, 22s are out of there. Your ABS here. Beside your bolts, we got our 13 here. Excuse me, that was a 12. That's how long it's been today. I haven't even been back at this job. That was a 12, yes. Right in between there for the brake line and the ABS sensors right there. Sliding that back. Oh, this one, is this one a little different? Nope, it's the tab there. Okay. Of course, I don't worry about that side coming out because we're replacing it anyway. Still being careful on my axle so this thing don't pull out of here. Separate it, keeping everything hanging right there. Let the car down, going back to the top. All right, back up on top, passenger side. Our Duralast part number is an LS34-84771R. R meaning right side. That's what we're putting on it. A lot of times we use the Napa. Most of the time we use the Napa. Okay, I'm holding it up with one arm, and then I'm removing our strut. Three new nuts. Getting down underneath. One arm balance unless you get a helper, hold it up for you. Get them started. Done. All right. Taking the car up. All right, we got this car up, pushing in again on the strut. Right. Turn it just a little bit. Trying to keep everything balanced here. And let's get up underneath this thing. Lift it up. Yeah, I need my screwdriver. Just trying to see if I could get it the first time. All right, once you get one of them in there, makes it easier to get two in there. There we go. I used to have to talk really loud. My audio on the videos used to be really bad. And somebody told me about this Parrot microphone the truckers use, noise canceling and those kind of things. And it's helped a lot. Just making sure we're good and tight. Now we are. Okay, right back here to our ABS. Let me find it here. You guys can probably see better than I can right now. That's close, but not quite there. I don't normally do that. Start a bolt with a battery little impact gun. All right, let's see. All right, so we didn't have a twisted brake hose on this side. We're in there, and let's just proceed to the back. All right, we're starting on the right rear strut. Of course, we got another sway bar here, and we're gonna have to get out of there. Let's see if that one's 16 is what I'm thinking that is. But I think that one should possibly, I don't know, possibly come out of there without ripping the whole car, cutting it in half and doing all that, but we'll do what we have to do. Yeah, that worked perfectly. If you don't have an impact gun, you grab it on the back side. And it might beat you up a little bit, but do it that way. Now, since I've got this gun out here, a 19 millimeter on these bottom bolts on each side. right here. I'm just going to go ahead and use this. All right, got a 12 mil right here again on our brake line and our ABS sensor. All right, a little smoke, but she's came loose too. So that's out of the way. Oh, there's one more. Wait just a second. That looks like a 10. Okay. Now that we've got that out of there, and you can see that that skill's still kind of in there, but can knock the bolts out, probably lean it forward a little bit and to come out of there. Let's see if I can go ahead and get these things out of here. Oh, that one's ready. All right, the other side's bolts are out. We got to get this seat out, right? So the lower seat cushion has to be popped out. I've got on clean gloves, all that kind of thing. And you're going to get right up underneath this edge, finding that clip, and you're going to pry up on it. Same thing on the other side. The says a lot of times you can do it by hand. I don't have a lot of luck doing them by hand. You can see this car for the year that it is very, very clean. So we got to get this bottom cushion out of here. Just trying to get the seat belts through it. It's going to be fun getting those seat belts back in there. Okay. All right. And that's what you're trying to release from those clips. The foam's in really good shape here. Upside down on the roof. Now this seat, I believe, pull up on this peg. There we go, and lower it. Some kind of and from there, I'm going to remove this piece. I'm just going to set this also on top. I think I hit my camera again. Folding the carpet back. Now, let's do the same thing on the other side. Probably going to have to release our seat belts here. Hang on. That's one out. Just going to do that. From there, strut's actually coming up underneath this piece. Okay, I pre-did this thing, read the instructions, didn't like all the work it was telling me to do, so I got a little involved here. Right here are some Phillips with the push-in plastics. Here's pop-in tabs, so you got 2 of these, right, on each side. Got some of these all the way across the top. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, and 2 push tabs on the corner. Pull this down. Right up underneath there are going to be your 3 strut mounts on the top, and they're 12 mils, and I'm going to take those out. So I'm using a long 12 millimeter ratchet, and I'm going to ratchet those out of there that way. and see if I have success. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm done with the right rear. Oh, did you want to see how I did that? Yeah, I thought you would. So let's do the other side so I can show you what I figured out. Pulling this down once again. Fold it under. Lift this up right here. Oh, let's spray some penetrating oil on that one back there. It's got a little rust on it. Give you my little tip and trick here. All right. Was successful, by the way, without having to go any further than this. Now, 12 millimeter. And I'm right on the top of this thing, and I don't know how much you can see. Okay, I'm right here. I'm leaning back to see what you can see. Not much. Okay, let's do this. I can't get it much further down than that. Anyway, right underneath there, there's your 12. And broke it loose. Grab the other one. Let's get that light out of my way now that I can get a hold of this. Break it loose. One way in the back there. Just trying to get on it. Break it loose. Then I grabbed my Milwaukee with a MIDI 12 snap-on socket. Ran that up. Save your old nut. Use your original old nuts, or it will beat you up. If you don't, and you use the ones that come with the strut. Now, if you can't reach the rear one, you can use a ratchet on that one. So I can't reach that one. So if I remember right, I just went ahead and ratcheted it out first, because once they break loose, you can screw them out by hand. But if you have the pressure of the strut weighting down on it, you won't be able to. There we go. That's that one. Now we get this other one, which I will use the Milwaukee for it. All right. And take it out by hand. It's staying up in there because on the bottom, it's still supported. So from there, you got to pull your strut down and out of there. So I'm coming out of the car. Okay, I hope everything's in frame and you don't get a lot of my back, but this is an LS54. Boom. LS54-94482L for left rear strut. Take your existing nuts off the top of the one. I'm just sitting on the floor here. Slide it in. Move that down to your side. And it's out of there. Grab your new one. It's a little bit hard to see up in there when you're working by yourself. So get it set there. Grab your light. Find the holes up there. Once you get them in, hold it up. Hang on a little bit. Ah, just had it. Where did it go? Dang. All right, I'm just going to use my WD-40 can since I can't find it. You're going to have to get something underneath it just to wedge it up in place. Right there. This is what I was looking for. Anyway, once it's wedged in there, now you can go back to the top with your original 12 millimeter nuts and start them. I'm not showing them for the fact that I just don't want to keep moving the camera around. I'm most of the way in by hand. Say they spin real easy. My Milwaukee with my 12, I'm going to tighten up the front ones. I'm going to take that long ratcheting wrench after I've tightened up the front two now and tighten the back one. So let's refocus in on the inside of the car. All right, so we're focused back on the inside of the car. And regardless of clean gloves and everything that you're trying to do to keep everything clean, you're going to have to clean the car up when you get done. Let's get our push tabs back in place. The whole idea of these things is to make it easy. There's one. And you got all your Phillips head push tabs right here. They're gray across the top. Yo. Oh, my light just went out. Sorry about that. Get them all in there. I got one gray one here I have to find. It got away from me. Story of the mechanic's life is the one that got away. Or two. That's in. All right, so I got one more push tab to find here if I do not locate it. I got new ones. Okay. Let me just look around real quick and see. All right, once they're in there, lift your seat back up, place it in there, put your seat belt back in. And I'm going to leave this side of the seat down. You're just going to pick it up, latch it back down, put your bottom cushion in. Oh, there's that other tab that I was looking for. All right, so now that's in. Then we will go ahead and lift the seat up. Put our rear cushion in. My battery charged under hood light, under interior light went out. So you're going to just push your seat belts through, push it down tab, lock it down, and clean it up. I'm actually not going to show all that. I'm going to take the car back up and finish up the lower side of this whole thing, and then hopefully go home. Working on the right rear, We got to get our big through bolts inside. I think I'm going to try starting with the bottom one. All right. That worked out okay. Now, screwdriver pushing in with all my might. Just want to be able to get that thing started. Gotta pry it toward it. All right, hold tight. Okay. And up top, there's the foam cushion, little styrofoam to put back behind the seat. We'll get that too tomorrow. $19. Yo. Be careful with that. Let's get this one in here. That's at 15 on your sway bar link. And you got a 10 that goes there and a 12 for that. Now the original 10 for the ABS wire there, it broke. I'm going to have to get another 10 for that. I'm probably going to do that again also tomorrow. And not show that because I'm done for this night. Well, did I not grab the right socket? Well, I got this 15. We're going to have to hold the back side of that to get it in there. Go back over it, check that with my regular hand ratchet. Going to go back over the 19s. Make sure that these suckers are tight. I'm going to get underneath the vehicle. Okay, we got to do the same thing on the other side. A little closer in on this side. Hopefully it goes back as well as that side. So first thing you got to get is this in first, because it's in. We got to get this thing in there. Where's my 15 mil for my little sway bar link right there? Okay, let's get our 19 bolts, see if we can get them started. knock the camera anyway. All right, damn it. Got some editing to do. Hey, thanks for watching Cooper's Automotive's YouTube channel. Hope you like this. Make your comments. 2005 Toyota Camry, front and rear struts. And hey, we'll see you soon. Videos to come. Mercedes window regulator, short battery, maybe Corvette, Chevy Avalanche. Many different things coming your way. All right, see you soon.